Tonight on Alaska's news source, an egg hunt at Anchorage's Hilltop rounds out a weekend of events. We show you the springtime fun.
And spring is here, but winter weather isn't finished just yet. Southern portions of the state can prepare for more snow and rain. I'll have more coming up.
Plus, an effort to better locate offshore earthquakes. A grad student is working on a big project, what tools he's using and how it works. And getting ready for a big race in Fairbanks. It's still months away, but the latest on the Midnight Sun Run.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
This weekend was a busy one over at Hilltop ski area, with the ski season nearly at a close. Charlie Fellows gives a recap on the goings-on the slopes.
Easter weekend at Hilltop ski area was a wild ride. 2 days of folks taking on these slopes for two very different reasons. The first involving speed and skill, the second requiring patience and perception. But enough about that. I'm sure you're wondering what this giant pool of water is here. I'm not going swimming, don't worry. But on Saturday, that would have put me in the minority.
Nice! Yeah, for me, it's just the community. We have such a great group of people around us, and it really just keeps me going throughout the days.
Oh, this looks good.
The vibe here is so awesome. Like, honestly, everyone here is so stoked to be skiing. It really makes it's a lot of fun.
Robin Hood, show me what you got!
Oh man, I was just trying to go as fast as I possibly could and then just sending as hard as I could, and it worked out today.
And after everyone had had their fun, these slopes were filled with over 1,000 of these, filled with candy and prizes. Finding one, a true test of perception.
And I saw a glint of gold from the corner of my eye in a cute little grassy patch. And I thought, no, it couldn't be. There's no way. And then I went and I started to part the grass, and lo and behold.
We had a strategy. We were looking where they all were on the chairlift.
Oh, you saw them from overhead?
Yeah. Yes, we did. We went the way no one else was going.
With just 1 week of full operation left in the 2026 calendar, this weekend was a strong send-off to the season at Hilltop. Charlie Fellows, Alaska's news source.
That golden egg, by the way, was one of just 3 that contained prizes like season passes. Over at the YMCA in Anchorage yesterday, families had the chance for some submerged Easter fun. The YMCA held its first Easter egg swim. It consists of throwing 1,500 Easter eggs into the pool at once so that kids could swim to collect them.
Amazing, yeah. Chaos, but controlled chaos, and so good chaos is good. It was great. It was overwhelmingly positive. The numbers that we saw was just crazy. And then it seemed that everyone was having a good time and loved the prizes and was very excited to swim with some Easter eggs.
She says all the eggs float and were filled with prizes. They could be exchanged for candy. And wet weather from this weekend remained on the east side of the Chugach Range, making it a perfect Sunday to get out in Anchorage. But Bailey, there's a chance of rain on the way. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there is a chance of rain, and we already had some of that wet weather lingering in parts of South Central and especially to various regions across the state. But we are looking ahead to some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies for Monday, staying mostly dry in Anchorage as we await some of that wintry precipitation that is expected by Tuesday. But of course, Southeast is expecting a little bit more of that rain by Monday and is going to dry off by Tuesday. In areas like Bethel, we do have a winter weather advisory in. So as we look from our time lapse in Anchorage, you can notice some of those cumulus clouds popping up. A little bit of that cloud cover through the morning hours, but then it cleared up by this afternoon. You can expect some very similar sky conditions for tomorrow to start off your work week. And of course, as we look at our precipitation from the last 48 hours, most of that wet weather, like we mentioned, stayed on the east side of the Chugach Range. That's where the Copper River Basin and even Seward and Homer, they did see a little bit of that snow and that rain mix, but areas like Anchorage and Kenai stayed mostly dry. In areas like Southeast, more of that rain was expected, and areas like Petersburg and Ketchikan got a lot more rain than areas in South Central, but more of that rain is to be expected for Southeast as that low pressure system begins to shift away by Monday afternoon, still having a wet start to your day, But you'll notice that big low pressure system along the Aleutian chain, that is really what we're going to be talking about today, as it does bring a little bit more of that winter weather into southwest Alaska and even into parts of south central by the time that Tuesday and Wednesday roll around. So we'll be talking about that and what you can expect. But of course, with these high temperatures expected for tomorrow, highs in the mid-30s for Anchorage and into Fairbanks, a little bit more of that wet weather is lingering for southeast and the Aleutian chain.
And Bailey, on this holiday, you have a special guest with you at the Weather Center.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. My mom sent me this in a little package, and I had no idea why she would do that, but I know now that it was meant to be here this whole time.
A little animatronic friend with you today.
Absolutely. It's so cute. I love it.
A grad student at UAF is helping with an Alaska Earthquake Center project. It's aimed at developing a new method for better locating offshore earthquakes, which could be integrated into a future earthquake early warning system in Alaska.
This is an issue that is pretty not just unique to Alaska, but it is unique in terms of the United States. A lot of other places in the US don't have as many very large earthquakes that are coming from offshore sources like Alaska does.
He says the state's push to establish an earthquake early warning system motivated the project, which is funded through a USGS award. Earthquake early warning systems are not prediction, but instead send out an alert when an earthquake starts. The amount of warning you could get depends on how close you are to the epicenter. The new project uses data from 2 seismic arrays that were installed in Kodiak and Homer in September and removed in November.
Seismic arrays are basically just using a bunch of closely spaced seismometers. So instead of like having one seismometer every 20 to 50 kilometers like we do in our current system, this would just be basically a set of seismometers that are, say, like less than 2 kilometers apart. This is what one of those seismometers look like. Basically just looks like a big can of beans.
The idea is more seismometers oriented in different ways can better pinpoint the earthquake's location and depth. Quigley said he hopes to have the final results in the next 6 to 12 months. On our website, you can find more details on the project, including how it may help scientists avoid creating mistrust. There's also details on the effort to develop earthquake early warning in Alaska. And still months away from the solstice, people are getting ready for the Midnight Sun Run in Fairbanks, and it's not just locals. Around 800 people have already signed up for the race, which includes participants from 35 states and 4 countries. While there are no changes planned to the race itself, the large volume of snow accumulated this winter has delayed the Couch to 10K training program for the race.
That program is going to start this year, April 20th, a little bit later than usual because of all that snow. I think we'll still be in snow and slush and puddles, but we're starting April 20th. And then we'll go right up until the week before race week. Gives you 8 weeks to train for the Midnight Sun Run.
The 2026 edition of the race will take place on June 20th.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.